Album Concept Hour. The Album Concept Hour. It's the Album Concept Hour.
Welcome, everybody, to the Album Concept Hour. I am your host, Brad LeBaron, and I am here, as always, with my co-host, John. What's going on, John?
Oh, not too much, fellas. How you doing?
And we got Dave over there. What's going on, Dave? How you doing?
I'm all right.
He's all right. Dave's all right.
Dave's always all right.
We have a very special guest in the studio. You guys know him.
He's the fifth Beatle.
He's the fifth Beatle of the pod. We had Nate Maney back on the pod. Welcome, Nate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank my family. I'd like to thank
my friends, my
friends.
fans.
Well, you said
my fans.
welcome, and I'm just like,
No, I know. I always like the intro part is necessary for a podcast, but it's never my favorite part of a podcast.
Mhm.
You know.
I'm pretty tired, and I'm trying to
Yes.
bring my A game.
Let's go. You
And,
know what? Let's go right into that.
Why are you
Nate.
tired, Nate?
Why are we tired?
We went to a show last night, and it was really good.
It was very, very good.
Um,
The name of that band might be somewhere on your screen right now. What band was it, Nate?
it was Baroness.
Yeah.
They did their first two albums in their entirety,
Yeah, they have a red and blue tour happening right
and that's
now.
basically my plug already. So, but I'll remind you at the end that they have a tour that you might want
Still
to
going.
avail yourself of. Yeah, and they're gonna do more.
They're about what, halfway through maybe?
Yeah, halfway through, and it's like Northeast and Midwest. So they've gone through like the Northeast, and now they're doing the Midwest,
Mm-hmm.
and then eventually they're probably gonna take a break for a little bit, and then they're gonna probably do like a Southeast,
Mm-hmm.
probably a Northwest, and probably
Yeah.
a Southwest.
Yeah. So they're gonna be all over the map. We haven't covered
Or some
Baroness on the
combination.
podcast yet, but we covered them on the channel, on the YouTube channel, but we
We
haven't covered
have.
them on the podcast proper yet.
We haven't really covered
Um,
them
and we will.
as a album
Yeah.
concept, and that's partially because they don't really have a true concept album stuff. but
Well, we're
yeah.
gonna do. I think we should do yellow and green because of the connections to real life events.
right,
That's
and
the
then
one I
that way
would
we
want.
can
Yeah,
kind of psychoanalyze it ourselves.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
it's got a cool story to
It's
it.
got a weirdness to it,
Yeah.
spookiness to it.
Spookiness, yes, for sure. So it's I'm really looking forward to that. They did so basically the red and blue tour, though, to give it a loose description, they play their album Red and their album Blue in their entirety, start to finish.
Wow.
So
For both of the
yeah,
shows,
those are like my
in
favorite kind of shows.
It was like a residency, and it was like it felt like the people were. It was like listening to a record together with a bunch of people, but
It
like it
was.
was live, and
Yeah.
and the newer members of the band who didn't. John Dyer Baisley is he's the front man and the only remaining original member.
Yeah.
So like those first two albums, but they did a great job. So yeah,
and
we
then
gotta talk about
what was the
King
name of the
Diamond.
venue?
It was Sleeping Village.
Sleeping
It was-
Village. Yeah.
And apparently they have a lot of
Highly
good
recommend.
shows they're in Logan Park.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, Logan Square in Chicago.
Yeah.
And it's not it's not in like downtown, so there's
Yeah.
like really easy parking in the area, and
Yeah, you don't have to get into like a parking garage or
it's like
anything.
250 max people. It's great.
And-
It's a little venue. It's an intimate venue.
Yeah, if you're a Madison listener, it's a lot like the Frequency was in Madison.
Yeah, it's a lot like
Yeah.
the Frequency was, but with a little bit more space.
a little bit more space.
but an even narrower hallway to get through for some reason. for
Yeah,
the-
yeah, the hallway
for
to get to
event
the
space.
yeah. I'm sure it was the
Somehow,
live shows
yeah.
might have been an afterthought. But really cool bar, really cool experience. Because like you don't feel like you're in Chicago. You don't feel like you're downtown and surrounded by like skyscrapers or whatever.
Right.
So
So working
yeah,
class neighborhood, kind of.
That's-
It's being gentrified a little bit in some areas, but it's for
Yeah.
the most part it's like Willie Street.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a really long Willie Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, really fun show.
Belmont Ave.
We spent the night, and I came back in the morning and drove straight to my dentist appointment.
Yeah, and I
Had my
slept
teeth
in
grilled for a little bit.
after he, had to go to that.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, if we're a little sluggish though, that's why.
But I didn't sleep in that long. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted to get back here to make sure I was ready to talk about
King Diamond,
King
Abigail.
Diamond. Yeah.
But
King Diamond.
we still have to ask a couple of our co-hosts here what they've been jamming on lately. Me and Nate have used our time.
We'll just do we'll do
John.
the plugs early. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I do them at the front now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Shit.
Yeah.
I did not even know that.
Yeah. I can. You can plug your podcast or your YouTube at the end and stuff too.
Yeah.
But yeah. What have you been listening to, John?
Oh, not
watching.
too much.
Or
Not
watching.
too much. Listening to a little John Denver lately, personally.
Okay.
Just been nice to clear my head a little bit sometimes during my night smokes, you know.
That's good for night smokes.
Yeah. Otherwise, I've been watching a lot of Severance.
Oh, I really want to watch that.
I've been binging that.
I don't have Apple yet.
That's pretty cool.
I might have to
honestly,
it somewhere.
I just gotta recommend everybody watch Daredevil.
Daredevil Born Again was very good.
Daredevil Born Again was fantastic.
I'd recommend Andor for anyone that's looking for tips on how to revolution. It's very good. What about you, Dave? What have you been jamming on lately?
Lately, a lot of replacements, lemon heads.
Lemon heads. I haven't had those in a while.
Yeah, mostly kind of a lot of them, and still a lot of Roxy music. So like kind of those three, I would say the last couple weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. And the musically, we just did a covers thing. I didn't get a chance to look at the outcome yet, but why don't we look at that right now? I should have that right here. Do you know what the outcome is?
I feel bad because I didn't vote, and I feel like the lack of my vote possibly weighted score a little bit.
Well, maybe that's not a bad thing, depending on who wins. Because if I win, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
I really do like this Music League thing though, but I feel like I like the faster paced one because I'm more of a go getter. When you give me a large time frame, then I tend to procrastinate.
Yeah. Well, okay, all right. I'm going to read off the music list here, or for Music League this week, because I know listeners of the podcast are always just kind of holding their breath, just waiting to hear the newest Music League news. I know
it's been popping off.
Yeah, it's their favorite segment. People are retweeting it. They're making reels about it. There's been TikToks. It's a wildly famous segment. But anyway, the prompt was covers for this week's Music League, and the first place, I think, well deserved. Skulls by the Lemonheads. Was that you, Dave?
It was.
All right. So that's why you were listening to some Lemonheads. That is a really great cover. I really enjoyed that because they really made it their own. Second place, Changes, Charles Bradley, and I submitted that one.
Dude, that cover is so great.
That cover is it's hard not to to shed a few tears with that one. That's sad. The Police on My Back by The Clash. I didn't even know that was a cover. I thought that was just the Clash song. That was by Ben. Third place. We got fourth place, Temptation by Diana Carole with Jason Newberry, a friend of the show. We also have, let's see, Jealous Guy Live by Donny Hathaway, and that was by Sean Broom. Is that the real name, Sean Broom?
I believe so.
I think your only friend that I don't actually know. Then we got How Sweet It Is by the Jerry Garcia Band. It's a live version, so that was a fun cover. You can tell it's live, of course, but it's a fun one.
It was a solid track.
Moses gave us that one. And then we have Africa by Weezer by Nate in the 7th position.
And it got how many votes?
Oh, we got 11, but I think that because you didn't vote, you didn't get the points.
That is okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing as well in this one as the other because
it's
the pool is larger, and I bring I feel like when we're in this larger pool I have to go obscure, but for this one I was like, oh, this is I'm not sure what to put for covers, because it's like,
Yeah.
am I trying to find a cover that's good but also super unique, or am I trying to find something that's like faithful and like amazing?
It's a tough. It's
In
kind
that
of
way.
you gotta like
Oh,
pick
how do you
which-
wanna
Like, so I was
interpret
like, I'm gonna go Toto after. But there was so
'cause,
many
that is
other.
that is a great cover in the sense that it is very, very close to the original. Like they capture it pretty well.
But yeah, this was a hard category. I think it took me a while to decide what to do. I don't know about y'all, but
Don't mind me. I'm just
Decisions, man.
how long is the voting period on the thing again?
5 or 6 days,
It's
maybe.
6
Okay.
days, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, like roughly, I wanted each period to be like a week. So
Yeah.
You want to soak it all in.
I want to soak it all in. Speaking of soaking it all in, we're gonna soak in this album, and that album is King Diamond's Abigail. Sorry, I'm looking at the Fatal Portrait cover over here. Abigail is what we're covering today, and this is one of the more talked about albums. It is or concept albums. I mean, it's like talked about up there with like Operation Mindcrime and the Iron Maidens
Seven
of
Son.
the time.
It is a really great 80s album.
Yeah, it is very, very
Great 80s like metal.
yes,
rock
like
album.
quintessential 80s. It's not hair metal, but
It's just heavy metal.
heavy
you could
metal.
say, yeah.
You
yeah,
know?
heavy metal,
A lot of
black
different
metal
kinda-
maybe to
kinda
some.
rock.
Proto
and-
black metal, you might say,
right?
Or
Because black metal wasn't a genre quite yet, right?
I mean, yeah,
Like it wasn't called that.
yeah, like a lot of the main bands. I didn't really get into King Diamond, but I think the main bands would be like, other than King Diamond and Merciful Fate, would be like Celtic Frost and Venom, and
Venom.
They all kind of like
Sorry.
had different influences on, but one of the main similarities I think you would say between like Celtic Frost and King Diamond is the vocal style, not necessarily the higher octaves, but the lower register, the growling type of barking, kind of like barking orders type of vocal.
Yeah.
That is
That's
like
indicative
more
of-
similar to like what you see in some of the vocals of, but black metal is also kind of varied in its vocals, so I can't really speak for all of it. But,
right. It's one of those genres where everyone brings like a little flair of their own.
But the general consensus is like, let's be evil as fuck. And,
Yeah.
and
Let's be evil as fuck.
embrace
hail
a cult
Satan,
and paganism and
Yeah.
Satanism and
yeah.
anything that's heretical.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get into it though. This is it starts with a funeral for the first track, and this is one of those albums where they start at the end. It's one that the story kind of can loop, which I always love. But yeah, it starts with a kind of story that the horsemen are telling you what's been going on. So here's a little bit of that, and then I'll tell you what I mean about these horsemen and this funeral and all that.
We are gathered here tonight to lay to rest Abigail and Faye, who we now know was first born dead on the 7th day of July, 1777. Abigail must be nailed to a coffin with 7 silver spikes.
So yeah, basically what he's about to say there is Abigail must be nailed to her coffin with 7 silver spikes, one through each arm, hand, and knee, and let the last of the 7 be drawn through her mouth, so that she may never arise and cause evil again. Who will be the first? I, O'Brien of the Black Horseman. So, I guess I shouldn't have said that it's at the end of the story. That's kind of a spoiler. But, the fuck is that?
That is an F-35
Jesus
probably,
Christ.
or
I wonder if that's coming through on the headphones, or the mics. But
I don't know.
it's loud.
But yeah, there's loud noise. Yeah.
That's hell. That's the
Yeah.
sound of hell in the background. Satan is
I mean,
just beyond the door.
Quick side note: I sometimes worry that when I hear like a loud roaring like that, that's like an ICBM.
Oh, I mean, one
But-
of these days, you know.
one of these days.
you
But
never know.
anyway, Abigail.
Abigail. So John, I was just catching them up. Actually, let's play it again for John.
Oh yes. Yeah, this was quite the introduction.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
wow.
They
You know-
nailed the creepy vibe for sure.
I don't want to completely go through cliches about like horror movies, but I said and listened through that I feel like this is like got horror movie sequel vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And in particular, it's weird because I'm realizing that did anybody ever see Poltergeist 2?
Yep.
And how they added like that creepy
Old man.
actor Reverend Henry Kane, and I'm imagining him telling this story about Abigail the Fae,
Yeah.
and who we know was first. Yeah, it's like it's
Yeah.
creepy
I like the way
and
he
very
says-
horror.
I like the way he says firstborn dead. Like he's like, I don't know. He's like desensitized to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like, and it's got like, he's got layers of vocals to make it even creepier. There's like a really, really high one and some low ones, and I don't know if they're just all speaking together, the horsemen, maybe. I don't know. But
I'm not sure.
anyway, basically though, John, he was saying that they must nail her to her coffin with these silver
Oy.
spikes so that evil might not arise again.
Can't let them oh wait, no,
The demon baby.
vampires is iron, right? Not
Well, no,
steel.
silver, I think.
silver,
Werewolves.
silver, right?
Garlic.
Werewolves. I think in some areas, silver does something to vampires. I don't remember, but it is kind of a biblical metal, with the 30 pieces of silver. But yeah, this is what starts it off. Great opening track. This very much a reminiscent of I Remember Now at the beginning of Queensryche, so I can see why some people might compare it to Queensryche. But yeah. Next track we got for you is Arrival. So another great thing about this one, as a concept album, it just plays like a story, which I always appreciate. So here is Arrival.
I just love the singer and the storyteller just going back and forth.
Yeah, that's another cool thing that we noticed is like he is singing all of the characters and singing them in different ways. So he is kind of doing like what you said, Nate, kind of an audiobook of this story, because
Yeah,
like
he didn't get-
characterizes everyone.
yeah. He didn't get the funding for his Broadway musical
Of evilness.
about Abigail. Yeah. So he had to do it
settle
himself
for-
on CD.
had to settle for the
But
medium.
but no,
of
I mean it's
music.
yeah, it does give vibes of like the unmarketable unknown far reaches of extreme metal in the 80s.
Yeah.
Before there were bands like Death in the late 80s.
Well, because
and
like
early
this
90s.
also comes from the shock rock, with
Cooper.
Alice Cooper, of course, the main one, I mean, he's obviously influenced by some other ones. I just can't think of other shock rocks besides Alice Cooper. But yeah, he is like taking the shock rock to its logical conclusion,
Right.
which is just like fully leaning into the Hail Satan stuff.
Yeah, and of course we already talked about a little bit about the inspiration that caused with black metal bands and maybe some people who took like the Satanism a little too seriously in Norway. Talking about Varg Vikernes and
yeah. There was a very
Euronymous and Dead who killed himself. Yeah, and then that became the cover of one of their albums.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was fucked up.
We'll have to do like that
documentary we will have to watch about that
until the night, or was Until the Dark Takes Us, or Until the Night Takes Us.
Something like that.
We'll have to do that for music movies tonight.
Yeah.
Until the Light Takes Us or something.
That's one of those quintessential music docs. That one's gonna blow your mind, John. That one's gonna really. It's disturbing.
Disturbingly fun.
But it's also it also says some good things about Dark Throne.
He burned a church.
Guy. I like his segments in that movie.
The 80s does a really good job of like this really horror themed.
80s was a good time for horror.
It is.
I mean, even with like almost a peakish type moment with there was that Michael Jackson with
Thriller, right?
He had the iconic voice come and do that little bit at the end, and that's
yes.
Price?
Don Price.
Not Don Price.
No, something Price.
Vincent Price.
Yeah.
Yes.
He didn't get paid a lot. Well, he got like compared to what he could have gotten paid.
It didn't matter to him. He was famously like mad that he didn't ask for like a royalty rather than just a flat fee. Dude.
Yeah, he didn't know it was going to be like such a big sensation.
Dude, side note, Michael Jackson is actually like there's a
An alien?
record of him doing that.
Okay.
No, I like because he did that with Eddie Van Halen because Eddie did that.
Oh yeah,
riff,
yeah. No, he I
and
think
he got
was
like
one
a
of those,
TV.
I think he was one of those guys that like
For it.
took advantage of like the fact that everyone thought he was like kind of sweet and innocent.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and he would be like, "Oh no, I forgot. I'm sorry.
No, you just do this. You just do this
didn't
nice lick for me from a song.
I didn't mean to offend
I'll
you,
give
Paul
you this
McCartney."
TV because I actually found out about that because Lance read a book from Sammy Hagar.
Okay.
And he like actually was like that. Sammy was in the band, and he came to Sammy after that.
Okay.
And Sammy was like, "Oh, well, what'd you get for that?"
Yeah.
Like, because Sammy's always business minded,
Right.
very business oriented.
Yeah.
And Dave was like, "Nah, man, he gave me this TV. It's great. Like, just did a couple minutes of like,
Yeah.
And then it winds up being one of the biggest hits from Thriller.
Yeah.
You know?
You never know. You never know what's going to catch on.
Right.
But to get back to Arrival, this is when the couple from 1845, the summer of 1845, the grandson of the LaFay family is coming to get his birthright or whatever, this house. And before they get to the house, they're approached by these horsemen that tell them not to go, and that they will be cursed if they go. 7 horsemen, by the way. And then they ignore their warning, keep going. And the horsemen say, if you refuse, 18 will become 9. 18 is 9. 18 is 9. So, he basically, they ignore him, ignore the which is, that's typical kind of horror movie stuff, ignoring obvious like things like definitely turn back.
Ominous things like when Reverend Henry Kane comes up to your door and is like, "I know that child is angry about spirits." I can't remember exactly what he says, but
Yeah.
he goes the
Well, I always think about that South Park character that's like always talking about like the teenagers that like died going up this hill or whatever. Like, oh, you don't want to go up down that hill. You don't want to go down that path. And that's when, old Johnny fell in the tar pits.
Yeah.
Or something, you know what I mean?
Right.
Anyway, you South Park heads out there are feasting on that reference. But yeah, that's Arrival. And yes, you will notice that this is that voice. Like, this is that voice that
it's that bony voice.
It's that iconic, like, highest register of maybe all of the, like, the metal artists from this era. And most famously, I think for people millennial age and younger, they probably hear this voice and think of that Aqua Teen Hunger Force intro thing that they did where they pay homage to King Diamond's voice.
Maybe the only other person with that high of a register at this point is Rob Halford and Judas Priest.
That's what I'm saying. It's like close. It's very close.
Yeah, they have a very similar.
Judas Priest might actually be using more of his real register, so it might be a little more.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. I do think Rob Halford has more of an actual range, and this guy's more doing like a.
This
falsetto.
guy's got an amazing falsetto.
Yeah,
he's just got a really, really functional falsetto. But then we get to this third track, A Mansion in Darkness. Oh man, really, really great guitar work in this album in general. Just like I have no notes for the guitar work, like just chef's kiss.
Dude, it really just brings you back. Like it really feels like listening almost to like Motley Crue or like
Guns N' Roses.
Like I was gonna say Appetite for Destruction era.
Definitely.
You know, like
I definitely think that Slash was a King Diamond fan.
Yeah.
Like judging by what you hear in this.
For me, it's like it's reminiscent of like Ozzy and
Rhodes.
Yeah, the Randy Rhodes era of Ozzy Osbourne, where there's like a speed element to things, and they're trying to kind of compete with the burgeoning thrash metal / other new wave of British heavy metal bands that are a little bit ahead of the curve, like Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Faster, up tempo.
Yeah.
Crazy technical solos.
Mm-hmm. And I love there's like double guitar solos. I mean, I forget if there's a lot of that in Iron Maiden, but I love it wherever I see it. Because it's just such a simple way to make a solo like just pop. You know,
pop,
what I mean?
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's so impressive, like to see live a double guitar solo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was talking a little bit about like Avenged Sevenfold and listen through like it, the tone and the veracity of the double guitar solos. Kind of reminded me of some of the, what they're known for.
Well, you know what? Like what I really love, like about like guitar solos between like the '60s and like the '80s,
right? Until
they really just rock, like when they're together. Sometimes, doesn't really matter even the genre. Sometimes, like when they do it well, and you got two good guitars going. It's not just like, it's almost a classical music kind of feel,
That's
right.
Why I was such a fanboy of like Megadeth in high school I was obsessed with like guitar solos, and the fact that you can have a front man who's doing rhythm but also can do a little bit of lead. Then you have like a virtuoso who's doing rhythm, a little bit of rhythm and the best leads. Then you have like the magic combo.
Yeah, because when you're also singing, like you can only do so much of the lead vocals while shredding.
Right.
It's one of those things where it's like it feels really good to know you can shine too, but like you got a guy over there who's doing that. He's shining.
Yeah. I think the best
shining
bands
with the guitar.
Trust each other.
But like, and these two are both just really talented guitars. So then they can kind of
Who are the guitarists for King Diamond?
I think they actually listed in the lyrics here.
Like I said, I'm a newcomer to this band.
Andy LaRocque.
Yeah.
And then
I've heard that name before. And Michael Denner. Okay.
So
I feel like I've heard both these names before, but like I always felt averse to trying to listen to King Diamond because I had a predisposed. It just the face paint thing kind of like makes you immediately think of like Kiss and so at first, and I'm not a fan of Kiss, so I was like, can't really like.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, I'm just approaching this in the wrong way. And nowadays, it's like, you don't have to like buy an album or have a friend who has the album to hear it. So, like, all right, now it's time to dive deep because I'm invested now.
Well, yeah, I never knew what to expect with King Diamond. I knew what he looked like and stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't know like what the songs were necessarily.
Right.
Like, and I mostly just knew it from the Aqua Teen short before that movie. By the way, we also have Tim Hansen
was in that
on bass. So he wasn't in it, but one of the members of Mastodon does like a King Diamond-y voice in it. Yeah. But yeah, we have Tim Hansen on bass, and we have Mickey D on drums. That's a drummer name if I ever heard one. Mickey D.
Yeah.
And then and if you don't know, listeners, King Diamond is the name of the lead singer of the band, as well as the name of the group at this time. So that's something
it's like he has a whole persona that
Yeah.
he cultivated, and
Yeah.
different costumes with the same general face paint. It's probably how Ghost, the modern like hard rock metal group Ghost, got their inspiration for their Papa Emeritus
Guns N' Roses,
or whatever
you got
they call
Axl
him.
Rose in the.
I can't remember what their singer calls himself. He's like
The holiness.
Like the holiness or the unholy, like some kind of unholy pope.
The unholiness.
Is his character. Yeah, and he always
I am the reverse pope.
Unholy da Pope.
Da Pope.
Da Pope.
Da Pope. That's,
Da Pope.
That's really good. I haven't heard that yet, Dave.
That's
fun.
great. Yeah,
That's fun.
You were just in Chicago too. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I am waiting to hear the Pope speak in a heavy Chicago accent.
Yes.
I think the internet will fucking lose it
With
if
a
we hear
Chicago
it.
dog and some Malort.
So far,
Yeah.
he's trying to mostly speak in like Italian and like. I feel like he's avoiding speaking in English because he doesn't want to sound what he is.
And no one else sorry.
Well, the Pope does have to speak a lot of Latin.
He is the first American Pope.
Yeah.
He's gonna save us all.
Yeah, it's either a great sign or an awful sign.
That's
it's
what
hard to tell.
I'm trying to
little
lean
both.
into the I'm trying to lean into the first.
Yeah.
Just to know he'll probably do a Midwest goodbye at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what the revelation is according to those fundamentalists. That's the ultimate Midwest goodbye. Oh wait, no, not Midwest goodbye.
Let me tell you.
I'm thinking of the opposite of that.
I mean, let me tell you, I've
Sorry.
been believing that the Midwest has been building because I've been watching how Wisconsin's been building. And I think this is really just a lot of things are aligning right now to be a nice little power center right here.
Oh yeah, dude. They want yeah.
Everyone's gonna want our water.
I'm gonna sound we're gonna sound conspiratorial for a second, but the rich are coming after Wisconsin.
Yeah.
We as Wisconsinites know this, but
We've
like
seen
maybe
it.
the rest of the country doesn't know. They've been buying up all sorts of shit around us. So
Yeah.
just so you guys are aware. Anyway, this track, yeah, and now we're in the border
Elon
zone or whatever. Fuck you. So this track we have
Border zone.
highway to the border zone.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is A Mansion in Darkness, and this is the track where there's a lot of they're just kind of experiencing creepy haunted house stuff.
Yeah.
Shadows kind of take over. The fire won't stay lit. It's just creepy. Evil feels like it's ruling at night.
Evil does rule the night.
And it looks like a lot of haunted houses. Everything was
Evil
left
Dead
untouched.
It's easy to believe that, my friend.
Yeah, and then the house breathes like it's alive, and yeah, this is basically like haunted house song. It's like there's not a whole lot more. Yeah, very
It's when
Scooby-Doo
goblins
situation.
and ghouls come out. It's when ghosts in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Listen, they know we're awake during the day. They want their time.
Thriller wasn't
That's their
filmed
time.
in the morning. It was filmed at night.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm just thinking of like ghosts like curled up on the sofa during the day, waiting for their time. All right. Well, the next track we got for you. Speaking of ghosts, we have The Family Ghost. Wait. Is Family Ghost?
Count Delafay.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah, hold on. I have the wrong lyrics up, but this is the Family Ghost solo. Oh no, it isn't. Here it is. It's like a fucking motorcycle.
Man, that is a family-friendly ghost.
Yeah, right. I mean, it is. He is giving him a friendly warning. This is, I believe, this is his grandfather, Count de la Fay.
Count Dooku.
Who?
Sorry,
Count Dooku la Fay.
Yeah,
that was his full title. Actually, they don't get to that, but
yeah.
He's the father, though, of the stillborn Abigail. He explains the kind of backstory of the Abigail situation. This is where they actually, they tell you what's going on. Basically, he tells him about how there's this stillborn Abigail that is in the basement in this like kind of crypt or sarcophagus. Right? Yeah, sarcophagus. And I like that he mentions as they're going downstairs, beware of the slippery stairs. You could easily fall and break your neck. Like like the ghost is talking from experience, of course. But yeah, he says that the spirit of Abigail is inside your wife, and there's only one way you can stop it. Stop the rebirth of evil itself. You must take her life now.
Shit.
So, in typical horror movie fashion.
It's a Rosemary's Baby kind of.
It's a real Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fun romp.
And then, yeah, here we go. Here's a bit of some laughter. He's a very, like we said, he's a very friendly
What is
ghost.
Rosemary's Baby?
I've never actually seen it.
That one is
explanation.
like basically like
it's
not a possession. It's more like her. There's like it's kind of like
evil offspring.
Evil offspring type of. Yeah, I thought it was.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I have the.
No, that's the right one.
But I thought it was something about like that, like religious figures were concerned with her baby being evil, or something, and it wasn't. It wasn't like full on like exorcism type of. I don't remember it being. It was more like a thriller, like a religious.
It was more like a little group
Michael
of cult
Jackson
that
came
were
out.
of demons that were excited about the baby because they knew they have this woman,
like a cult was excited about the baby. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so they're all like this. Yeah, just a little group that was really excited about now that this evil possessed demonic.
Yeah,
child.
I've been watching a lot of X-Files. A lot of weird baby stuff in X-Files.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, fucking Scully's constantly getting pregnant and then loses the baby of various aliens. It seems.
Has anybody seen Resident Alien?
Yes.
I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who's never seen it, but there's themes like that in there.
Okay.
Like abduction by alien. But yeah.
But before I'm able to watch that, I'm gonna have to listen to this track.
Yeah, you're
wait. First of all, I want to show that the ghost is indeed friendly. We have a clip here of the ghost laughing. See, his grandpa's having fun. His grandpa's having a good time. He's like, you could fall on these stairs. Get it? Like my wife.
Yeah,
that I pushed down the stairs. Yeah. I should mention that. So Count LaFay had a cheating wife, and when she was 9 months pregnant, he pushed her down the stairs because he said, "No bastard baby will inherit what's mine." Oh wait, no, that's the song we're about to listen to.
Let's not forget that the LaFay
going ahead here for some reason.
The LaFay name comes from Morgan Le Fay.
Exactly. Yeah. From King Arthur.
That is,
that's another
Merlin's
bastard.
Like sister, bastard sister.
Yeah. The bastard son of Merlin, or not Merlin, of Arthur.
That's
right. That's the connection.
No, she's not a bastard son.
Morgan, but Morgan Le Fay had a bastard son.
Right. I
no,
did
in
not
the
know
one I
that.
watched, I think Morgan Le Fay was a bastard
Morgan
child.
Le Fay was Merlin's like half sister, something like that.
I only know the one with
she
Sam
was an evil
Neill.
sorceress.
The one with Sam Neill is the version of events that I know of the best. Yeah. Anyway, this track has the lyrics that I was just mentioning to you guys. Here's the 7th day of July, 1777.
Those are angel numbers, I think. 777.
Oh yeah, a little bit, but
Or
I think
something.
they're probably multiples of 9 too.
They might be.
Wait, no, actually, no. I tested that. It's not a multiple.
It's
of 9.
not a multiple of 9.
No. I already did.
So it's not a satanic number.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll
Just
add
kidding.
up to a number. I mean, but yeah, it is supposed to be like a heavenly 777 is supposed to be like a heavenly number.
Right. It is. Or like, anything that's.
But maybe if you add a 4th 7 to it, it becomes devil number.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But yeah, I love the way he does the last bit on the 4th of 77 on the 7th day of July. Like just yeah, I don't know. I like how like in the context of the story how much fun like this Count de La Fay is having pushing her down the stairs. He's like, I've been waiting for a chance to push you down the stairs. Like, I'm glad you were cheating because I've been wanting to do this.
Damn.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Wow.
That's dark.
It's like what's the game that we always play? The legacy game, or no, the haunting. What's that game, Brad?
Oh, wait. Are you talking about Lethal Company?
No. I'm talking about a board game that we play sometimes.
Oh, Betrayal.
Betrayal.
Yeah, House on the Hill.
Yeah, this has betrayal vibes. Like,
yeah, definitely. This would definitely be one of those
stories.
One of those stories. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh man, we gotta play that again. I love that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is where he tells the story though of pushing her down the stairs, and she breaks her neck. The embryo came out dead and stillborn. He burned his wife, and then he says, Abigail, you must rest in shame. And he mummified the girl for the future to find. Yeah. So like for whatever, I don't understand that necessarily, but whatever. Oh yeah, it's the lyrics do also address that. It says obsessed. With a strange idea, he wanted to mummify the girl for the future to find. It's like
it's their problem.
What possessed you to do that? It's so weird. But
in 100 years, they might find a cure.
They might find a cure.
It does.
So mummifying is the solution,
dude. What if we made we could make a movie based on this album?
We'll have to see what happens in Abigail too.
We'll get the rights. Yeah,
you know, we gotta see.
We'll see what's We'll see how much we can milk out of this franchise.
Yeah, this might be a 2-picture deal.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But yeah, I just again love this track. I love the way that the story is straightforward. You know, I like that in a concept album. I like, you know, vague stuff like, you know, Mars Volta just as much, but it's a lot easier on my brain
a little bit
to actually kind of read a story just kind of play out, which is nice. But yeah, the next track we got for you is Omens. Hold on, let me find the lyrics. Miriam comes in here and see what I've found. It's moving. An empty cradle swaying in the air. Oh yeah, that's right. They this is kind of almost like part 2 to that earlier song where they're getting a lot of just spooky house stuff. Like they're getting worse and worse spooky house stuff. Like rotten smells, stuff moving around. The table's set for 3 for some reason, so it's intense. It's getting more intense.
House is haunting
like,
them.
This is maybe in Betrayal, the board game Betrayal, where you are just about to start the actual betrayal itself. You know what I mean? Like there's stuff starting to crawl out of the walls. Like there's some spooky stuff happening, and someone is about to stab someone in the back. I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Then there's this empty cradle that sways in the air. Yeah, again, like I said before, the previous track, very straightforward. It delivers the ideas, and it sounds creepy and exciting. Yeah.
This would be a good album to play at like a Halloween party.
Definitely, yeah.
In its entirety, and have like a.
We honestly should have done this
thing in the background.
We honestly should have done this during Halloween month.
Yeah.
Like,
all right.
This is very.
Stop it now, and we'll pick it up in October.
Yeah,
all right.
no,
we will be releasing this.
I'm telling you, man.
We will be
told
baking this
you,
episode for later.
This is
if
real good, scary shit.
Yeah, if the United States is still standing in October,
yeah,
we will be releasing this episode.
I am expecting the bombs to drop any minute. Anyways,
yeah. Well, then we'll have an out. Then King Diamond can put an album about us or something. I don't know. Maybe we can get Queensryche to write an album about the times. Queensryche, if you're listening, we need another Operation Mindcrime for today and what we're experiencing in today's political world.
Modern mind crimes.
Modern mind crimes. I like that. That's not bad.
That is snappy.
It's snappy. It's got alliteration to it. Modern mind crimes.
It works on different levels.
CBS 9 p.m. Be there.
You almost sounded like Dave Mustaine a little bit there. With like, hello me. I'm the real me. That's like the only part I can remember of their entire discography. Hello me. I'm the real me.
Meet the real me.
Yeah, I love that fucking part. It's so fucking like the imagery and the music video and everything. It's just it's great. Anyway, this next track we got for you is The Possession.
Bro.
Wait, do you want to take a break, John?
Where are we at?
We're at track 7.
Well, I'd actually take it.
Yeah, we'll take a break after this track. Okay.
Hello, me. Okay? It's me again.
Yeah, I cheat up the track already.
Fair enough.
Here's The Possession.
Yeah, let's.
Got some of that evil.
But those vocals at the very end of that you said were indicative of like black metal, right? Where it gets kind of
it's very the gruff, like there's certain artists in the black metal scene that go for that.
Yeah.
In their vocal stylings.
Yeah.
Dark Throne a little bit, like does the lower register stuff, and I just think there's a variety within black metal, but his vocals were definitely inspirational.
Well, when he gets to that level, like those vocals in particular definitely remind me of that Dahmer album. Like every time he gets in that range, it's like, because in Dahmer, he's kind of doing that almost the whole time.
Dude, we'll have to show you some Carcass at some point.
Dude, we got to do another one of those out like from that band though that did Dahmer, because he got a couple other.
Oh yeah.
Equally disturbing.
We could plan like a metal Halloween type of month.
Yeah.
But I gotta say though, like right before that was really like it. That was a very 80s scream.
Definitely. Oh yeah. This is the
very
epitome.
Continued.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, just for the story stuff, as the very next morning when the mist was eaten away by the sun, Miriam grew by the hour, and so they survived the night with the omens, but Miriam is rapidly becoming pregnant with this Abigail, or this ghost, or whatever this thing is, this demon thing.
This thing.
And it said it says the pregnancy would not last overnight, and this is what they meant by 9, basically. Though 18 is 9. I think that the theory here is that Miriam is 18 years old, and 9 is about pregnancy, 9 months. So she's gonna basically become pregnant within a day, and she's 18. So 18 was 9.
Not that
that math checks out.
I don't want to be nitpicky now, but I feel like I heard somewhere that like the new consensus is that pregnancy is technically like about a 10-month process if it's like a fully healthy, but of course it varies. But either way,
yeah,
Satanism is here.
9's just kind of an average.
I'm being nitpicky, but
you're right. Yeah.
I'm
like,
being nitpicky, but
like it's not like the body has a clock and the body knows what months are or whatever.
Right.
You know? Yeah. The body's just like, well, it feels about right.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
yeah.
I mean that's why they did the trimester thing, but whatever.
Yeah. People apparently don't care about that. As far as I can tell, people don't care to understand what that means.
Right.
It's like the metric system.
Yeah. But yeah, Miriam starts speaking in different tongues, like she's being eaten alive from the inside.
She's got Duolingo,
and I love that the part that I chose is I'm having your baby my love, and it's like gross and possessed sounding.
But it wasn't love.
You know what? Maybe the same demon, or maybe the same ghost that was portraying Count de la Fey is the person that's
right
possessing Miriam.
Doing the possessing.
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't a warning as much as this is going to happen, and you there's nothing you can do about it.
Paulo, what do you have to say?
I want to go on break.
None.
Okay. All right. We're going to go on a quick break. Looks like Apollo wants to go on a break. But we have 2 tracks left, and then we're going to rate this thing. We'll see you guys in a few. All right. I'm going to go back to the screen.
Do that. I'm good to do that.
What's up, guys? We're back from our break, and we got 2 tracks for you guys.
Yeah.
When we last left our heroes, Miriam was speaking in tongues and being eaten alive from the inside, and saying, "I'm having your baby, my love." Yeah, and then we get to Abigail, the titular track. And I need to plug in my phone so I can play that track.
Oh, snap.
Oh, snap. Brad needs the cable.
This is going to be erased from the show.
No.
Nobody listen.
No, it can't.
No,
I won't allow it.
Nobody see what's happening.
It's pure gold.
No, this all stays. All right, here's Abigail. I do gotta say, every time he says Miriam, I am immediately transported to Courage the Cowardly Dog. Like this would also fit.
Absolutely.
Like
that was a dark show for kids, but we loved it though.
They could. I mean, they should. They should have used this track. They could have based an entire episode around this track.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's so wholesome.
Yeah. But yeah, I love he hits so many great notes in this one. But yeah, he's basically kind of, Jonathan does not want to kill this person. He has, I will say, like, he definitely remains pretty resolute for the most part in trying to like avoid actually having to kill her. But at this point, he's kind of not sure if he can do that. You know, he's
kind of committed
control.
to the.
He's speaking through. She's speaking through Miriam now. She's basically saying Miriam's already dead. You know, like he's like kind of like taunting him.
Yeah.
You know, and it's one of those things that I love in a lot of horror movies, like have like these self-fulfilling prophecies. You know,
those are the worst.
Where it's like, you know, they try to fight it, but like ultimately they do the exact thing that happened the last time.
That's the thing you didn't want to happen, but it happened because of you.
Yeah, and then they when they tell the story in the future, they don't have all the details. They're like, yeah, he just went crazy and killed his wife, and it happened again 50 years later.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah, horror typically for me, I feel like it's this kind of horror is like, you know, it's about people making mistakes, and it's like you got to learn from your mistakes.
You got to learn from your mistakes. You got Jonathan. You got to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, well, you know, I swear to God, you know, you see it with when you really study like European royalty sometimes, like through history, like see these people that just like marry and divorce, and yeah,
they have all their,
you know, it's
they're
everybody does make mistakes.
Sometimes a couple times every few years.
Yeah, you know, like,
yeah, man.
What are you gonna do?
But yeah, he's. I love the keyboard
he really
solo.
Believed in it though.
I love
the creepy. Like,
yeah. The keyboard solo is very. Shit, what's that band? That's more of a newer, like prog rock group. I've seen them with Devin Townsend. You were talking about him a little bit earlier. Something orchestra. Nate, you don't. This isn't ringing any bells. Shit.
No.
No. They have a lot of. They have a lot of keys though, and they do a lot of like really
the steam, the Christmas orchestra.
No.
That
one's
steamroller.
That one's fun. I remember the one you're talking about.
I'm not sure who you're talking about, but yeah,
I know it's steam something.
Yeah,
Dave. Instead of laughing, how about you correct me? I'm serious. Like I know what I'm thinking.
Yeah, what was
are you thinking of Mannheim Steamroller or Trans-Siberian Orchestra?
Thank you. Both, actually.
Yes.
Both.
We got there.
I was in the middle.
We got there.
Wait, that was Styx.
Thank you.
I was thinking of Styx.
But yeah, no, that's totally where my brain was going.
Yeah.
You're killing yourself if you don't believe it. All right, that's the wrong album.
It's Styx though. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. You guys, you
Similar
listeners
feel,
can
though.
untangle this later when you're listening to the episode. Untangle what we were talking about.
Whenever I guessed, it's a problem.
But yeah, this last track though is called Black Horseman, and I don't know why they have to bring his race into this, but no, just kidding. So they have these are these 7 horsemen that they encounter at the beginning of the story.
Yeah,
and we get the end of the story here, and then the horsemen kind of talk. But you know, like I was kind of alluding to, he does stand there at the top of the stairs, and oh wait, no, that's right. I alluded to the wrong thing. What actually happens is Miriam, they get to the top of the stairs. Jonathan was scared. He was thinking about doing it, and he turns his back on her, and then she pushes him.
What a twist.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, the twist is though that instead of like Jonathan like reenacting what happened 50 years ago, she like kind of gets her revenge.
Okay.
Yeah, Abigail finally gets her revenge. And then she says, "Now we're finally alone, Miriam." Abigail is here to stay. And then it says the birth of Abigail would soon be realized. So she's going to be basically born again through Miriam's body. The second coming of a devil in disguise. The moon did not shine. It was darker than before. On this sacred night, the soul of Miriam was crying out in pain, remembering the day arrival in the rain. So,
you better start
becomes
calling
born.
that shit out before we get some kind of like spirit up here,
Yeah.
We don't need that in the middle of the end even.
No. But Miriam dies. Spoiler alert. Her final viewing is she sees the yellow eyes of Abigail, and then the 7 horsemen finally arrive to take care of this problem that they were alluding to. I like how they frame this in verse 3. Oh no, they found her in the sarcophagus. Baby Abigail was eating. Oh, I cannot tell you. And it's like kind of like the lyrics are just like they're basically saying like it's too horrible to describe what we saw in there. And it kind of alludes to like Abigail is eating the carcass of the previous Abigail.
Baby Abigail was eating the cats and the dogs.
And the dogs.
Oh, no.
And the mice.
Flesh piece by flesh piece.
Yeah. So
And the brainworms.
So basically they take her and bring her to the chapel in the forest, and the ceremony and coffin is awaiting. You burn them. And
get those brainworms out of.
And it goes it's one of those concept albums that goes full circle to the funeral, which is track 1, where he says we're gathered here tonight to lay to rest Abigail LaFay. So
it's the story. You start with the memoriam, and you end with the story. What a classic!
Yep. Classic.
You could turn this into a movie album or a miniseries.
Definitely,
you could do a miniseries on each verse.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like we appreciate usually in the show. It ends where it starts.
Yeah,
always good with concept albums. Now we got to decide though where it ranks with the rest of our concept albums. So
I already feel like I have an opinion.
What's your opinion?
My opinion is an A.
A or S? A?
An A.
Remember, it's S, A, B, C, D.
I'm going to say A for cohesiveness of conceptness. If that's a thing. That's my new.
I like it. I like that description. Cohesiveness of conceptness.
I don't remember what I said when we first started rating albums, but yeah. And then, but for execution, it's not quite S tier for me. I feel like, there's something like kind of charming about the like almost like cheesiness of the late 80s horror sequel feel.
Yeah.
But it diminishes the fun of it a little bit, just like it would in a horror sequel that's bad. You know what I mean? Like in where it's like, oh, okay, like that's clearly like,
well, everything's like
they didn't have what, you know,
I saw
John Carpenter to do the creature effects or whatever.
So you're giving it a solid 4, you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's a 4. It's an A. It's definitely an A tier.
Okay.
And I get and to be fair, like I now get why people like King Diamond.
Right.
But I'm more interested now to see what his other later output is, what his output was like before this.
Might be like
maybe this, because like I said, I don't fully have, you know, I like I said, I only have an anecdotal argument for this, but I feel like the production is on par with some other 80s albums that I feel like are a little trebly, and the mix kind of lacks the bass.
I would give you that. Yeah.
So like that takes it down a notch for me too. But but it's an A.
Okay.
It's a 4.
What about we'll go we'll start with Dave and go I'll do last, I think. What are you thinking, Dave?
I think it is a solid A. I think it has it's cohesive story, everything about it I think it's definitely not a B. So I'd say it's an A. Yeah. I echo. I think it's I don't know where I put on this. I'll try to think right now, but yeah, I'm just thinking A.
Okay. John, what do you
see? I was thinking low S or high A, personally, because like I really like it when an album does that, where it's like it starts off with something that you don't understand, and then it rolls into something, and it all connects. But that's because it's supposed to be a circle.
Yeah.
And the circle is that it starts off with the obituary. It's not necessarily an obituary, but you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like, and then it rolls into the story. The story literally connects. It makes it a full cycle. And that's really, so I really like that aspect of it. And I really like the music. You know, it was really good 80s music. You know, it really brings you back. We have a personal, you know, taste for good 80s music as well.
We definitely like it on the pod.
Sure. and you know, it's always convinced me, you know, and I've been the most you know, pop of all of us. So
I will kind of echo some of that. I think that I think that it is S tier, lower S tier. So I think over our averages it'd probably be like a 4.5. So like
our
high,
averages,
high,
4.8, 4.9, maybe.
Maybe 4.4.
No, all of us said like.
Well, he said higher A, so let's call that like maybe a 4.25 or 4.5. I say 5, you say 5, we got 4, so 4.75.
Yeah,
that sound right?
I would, yeah.
I just want to basically echo some of the things you were saying though, John, where it's like I do think that like in particular that like couple of years in the 80s has just like they're just so gung ho about concept albums and like the themes and just, you know, breaking into new weird ideas, and I think it's executed well. Yeah, and I would agree with you too, Nate, about the production. The production, you know, leaves some to imagine, you know, to grow. You know,
production was very well done.
It was good, but I do think that it does feel like it is.
There's something flat about it to me.
Yeah, I do think that it could be a little like, you know, pop a little more.
Yeah.
Like it's not. It doesn't pop quite as much as like Iron Maiden, maybe. You know.
Or even you know, Forget the Madness.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But it might have also been and I should say as a side note that might also have been a little bit of what inspired black metal to a lot of black metal that was inspired by this was lo-fi on purpose.
Yeah.
Like Varg Vikernes, for all his faults, was popular with Burzum, who's like, he recorded his guitar through like a stereo and instead of like a traditional amp, and he used like this really shitty headset mic to record the vocals so that it sounded even more distorted and like very terrible production value, but on purpose to kind of give it this rawness.
Right.
And so it's an aesthetic choice, but here it's just like something that I've noticed with, you know, like I said, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but late 80s metal albums, with a flatness to them, or like where the bass seems like it's a little lacking. Right. And I honestly, it's a credit to this album, because like when I was driving and listening to this on the way back from Chicago this morning for the first time, I was like, I wish I could make this louder. But like, no matter how much I messed with like the EQ settings or like how loud I turned it up, like it still fell a little bit flat. Like the production is also it's mastered a little bit quieter than I'm used to for like, you know, modern music is mastered at such a high volume that I have trouble with that sometimes.
Yeah, and I was wondering if that's maybe a cassette thing. I don't know that. I don't know if that is a factor, but I know cassettes were a big thing at the same time as some of that. So in the comments or in the, you know, in the future comments of the episode, if you guys know anything about that, if you know if cassettes are part of, you know, contribute to that at all, Let me know. I'm curious. Or send me a YouTube video or something.
Yeah, maybe there's like a YouTuber out there, maybe Technology Connections guy who talks about like
that's a very
water heaters and
yeah, it's a very interesting topic though, like the popularity of treble and bass throughout time. You know? I'm sure there's a great video about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're at a solid 4.75. I think that's a good place because it's like I don't think it quite reaches the levels of Operation Mindcrime, but it is close. You know,
it is very close.
And it is, you know, it's talked about in the same, you know, conversations as Operation Mindcrime, and I think that's deserved. So yeah, that was a fun one. That was a really again, we always love going back to the 80s like metal stuff because it's just, you know, they love their concepts, they love having fun with them, and they also just the vocals are always just fucking awesome. So the more we do this podcast, the more fan I am of 80s music in general.
Yeah.
The more I do this podcast, the more like great music I discover from so many different.
You also just realize how varied the music was even back then. It's just that I think part of the issue is the media loss is like there was so many people that were doing, you know, there were these tiny record labels making small prints, but like they're either in a collection now somewhere or, you know,
they're already in charge. Right?
I'm 100% sure that there's a new like pirating website out there that has the power of
it's coming.
CD, but
we're in that mode. Oh, we are so in that mode.
I used to be on active on a piracy website called what.cd, and
nice.
I can talk about it openly because it's dead now, but they had like people would take, you know, set up with the best like preamp or like, you know, set up to record the audio from like the original like Led Zeppelin vinyls in like the fully lossless audio codec FLAC.
Right.
And so like you could get the originals essentially without having them physically. And sadly I've lost all that data, but
those big files.
Yeah. I want to see if I can find it. If I find something again, then I will covertly explain how to do it.
Right. Yes. Links will not be in the description.
Yeah, right? Not in any description.
But you guys know how to Google.
Yeah.
You look for your problem and then add Reddit to the search, and then you will find the answer to your problem.
Yeah. Right.
But thank you all for tuning in out there. We appreciate you guys listening to us, listen to this epic album. I don't know what we're doing next time yet, but I'm talking to a few potential guests, trying to get some guests back that haven't been back in a while. We'll see if Grant Summerland texts me back, because he's coming out with some new stuff. So if you liked Grant Summerland from the season 1 finale,
wow,
he's got some new music.
That's a callback, motherfucker.
Yeah, I still follow him on the social media. So check that out. Also, check out Nate's YouTube. It's
no one wants to work anymore.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
We have a video.
Nate put together a really informative, I guess, video essay. At least I hope it is, about the rise of, first of all, the R word, and then how that relates to fascism and language in general. We talk a lot about, the state of the world, and how, it's a bit nerdy, but if you guys want to learn a little bit about, just kind of how to talk to people that are not fascist, but like just, don't understand politics on that level, and aren't as worried about what's going on as maybe they
people who
be.
Don't understand why, learning to talk to people who don't understand why bringing back the R word as like an acceptable pejorative is like
I said it.
Yeah,
I said it about that damn.
I'll just before we wrap up, I'll say that my fiance,
all those first executive orders.
My fiance put it really well recently. It was like,
fine.
Would you be okay using like language like that in front of a person that had Down syndrome or or anybody that you've known in your life that may have like different stuff
I've stopped myself from getting mad at people in the service industry because of it.
Yeah. It's terrible. It's like I'm hearing it online. I'm hearing it
that's
in
important.
public.
Yeah, and that's kind of like what got us started on that video essay idea. So
we end up, we're not word police, but we just, we wanted to kind of bring awareness to
just want to help
what's happening at the same time. It's using that word.
Yeah, if you decide to use it as an excuse to talk about language, kind of, and how language changes. It's kind of a jumping off point,
right?
But good. I mean, not that it's not important, but like it's. I will say the video is more about fascism than the R word.
Yeah.
But we talk about both, and I appreciate if you guys watch it. If you like what we do, I'll put a link in the description. It's obviously a lot more political than the stuff on this channel right here. But yours is it youtube.com/no one wants to work anymore?
I don't know if I've been able to set that yet. It probably is, but if you just search "No one wants to work anymore," it should be.
Yeah, search "No one wants to work anymore."
The logo is like a comic book looking. Now it just says Nowa, like no one wants to work anymore. It's like
Nowa.
No, NOWWA or whatever. Yeah, it's. Yeah. We're gonna talk about a lot of different things on there as soon as we can, but we're gonna try to take our time to make sure it's all good and.
Yeah. Me and Nate have some
video essay content that takes a while.
Yeah, me and Nate have some history and doing some activism, so we're wanting to use some of that knowledge we gained. So yeah. Well, yeah, that's the pod though. Thank you guys for all for tuning in, and stay safe out there. Look out for your neighbors.
Seriously.
We love you guys, and have a good night.
Have a good night.
Love everybody.
The album concept hour is Brad LeBaron, Dave Gallagher, and John Aker. Special thanks to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard for the theme music. Join the discussion on our Discord. Or for everything else, go to linktree/Flyover State Park. See you on Side B. This is Flyover State Park. You are clear to land.